What's up? It's Coach Ben from WODprep, and in this video, I'm gonna help CrossFit beginners learn how to kip. So this video is all about kipping for CrossFit. I'm not talking about kipping for one specific movement. I just want to talk about the fundamentals of a kip swing. That will carry over to movements like muscle ups and kipping pull-ups and toes to bar and more. So if you want to learn how to do that, stick around to the end of this video. Also, if you do stick around to the end of the video, I have a ton of free training guides to send you. Whether you're trying to learn any of the CrossFit or functional fitness skills, or if you want to download my free ebook, How to Go From Scale to RX, if you want any of that stuff, stick around to the end and I will tell you how to get it. First things first, we are going to start to answer the question, why should we kip? So a lot of people think that kipping is bad, or kipping is cheating, or kipping is only for stupid CrossFitters. Well, I would argue that kipping is smart if your goal is to achieve more work in less time.
What are you, a salmon trying to swim upstream? This isn't a pull-up, but you're on a pull-up bar. I'm doing kipping pull-ups. You can swing and you can use a little bit of momentum so that you can do more work in a shorter period of time. That's absolutely ridiculous. Don't you have something better to be doing with your time, like working out your biceps? No, I already did biceps today, bro. Whatever, man.
So if you want to do more things and output more energy, aka get more work done in a shorter amount of time, then kipping is a great way to do that. For instance, if I told you to get your chin above the bar 100 times as fastly as possible. So go from arms completely locked out to chin above the bar 100 times as fast as possible. If you took a strict approach, you would take a lot longer to do that work. But if you were able to kip, you're still achieving the same goal of arms fully extended, chin above the bar. But with kipping, you're able to do that same amount of work in a shorter amount of time. So that's the whole fundamental understanding of why we kip, is not to be a strict bodybuilder style exercise. Our goal of kipping is to get more work done in a shorter amount of time. That is the goal, and that's the goal of most CrossFit workouts as well. So as long as we're on the same page there, now it's time to move on and teach you the fundamental pieces of a true kip swing. So first, let me show you what I'm talking about when I say a kip or a kip swing. So all I'm doing is I'm hopping up on the bar and I'm swinging back and forth. So this is what I would call a kip swing. So I'm swinging back and forth, and the two pieces that I want you to know about are the hollow position, which is here, and the arch position, which is here. So a kip swing, I'm just going in and out of a hollow and arch position. So that being said, the two main pieces of the kip swing are the hollow and the arch. Instead of telling you to jump up on the bar, and that's how you're going to learn how to do it, I'm actually going to show you a couple floor drills here that help you understand the two different pieces. So follow me down the floor and I'll show you. A hollow hold on the floor simply looks like this. I'm laying down on the ground, arms above my head, and then what I'm doing is I'm crunching my belly button or squeezing my belly button, trying to squeeze it into the ground, lifting my feet up, lifting my upper body up. So basically I'm engaging my core here, lifting my shoulders off the ground, lifting my feet and lower body off the ground, and then in this position, you'll notice that my core is really, really tight, my body is rigid. This is what the hollow body position is. Then we can switch over to what's called the arch position, which is basically the same exact thing, except I'm laying on the ground, face first rather than my butt on the ground. So instead of tightening my abs, I'm tightening my lower back, squeezing my glutes, and lifting my legs off the ground, lifting my upper body off the ground. This is the arch position. Some might call this a Superman hold or the Superman position, but this is the arch position. So one thing that we can do, once you're familiar with both of those positions, is to actually practice going in and out of the hollow and the arch. First, I would recommend just simply holding a hollow position, which is easier said than done, and holding the arch position. But when you feel comfortable with the hollow and the arch, you can then actually practice doing candlestick rolls. So from here, I'm in the hollow, and then boom, I go to my arch. And then from the arch position, I can roll back to hollow. What we're doing is we're learning to manipulate our body using our core. A common mistake that people make when they start to get up on the bar and learn to kip is it ends up turning into this. They jump up on the bar, and then they just start doing this, where they swing their feet around, and they think that their feet are what's causing them to kip. Right now, I'm just really swinging my feet around. I'm not doing much in the way of kipping. I'm not using my core. A true kip, as demonstrated on the ground, a true kip primarily focuses on here to here, right? I'm using my core, maybe a little bit of glutes, my hips. I'm using those muscles to manipulate the rest of my body because that's where I'm going to get a lot of power. In the CrossFit Level 1, they talk about core to extremity. That's how you get a lot of power from your body. You use your core. All of your strongest muscles are here, in between this range. And then using those strong muscles from your core, it can create lots of velocity, lots of momentum at the extremities, aka your feet and your hands. So when you jump up on the bar, don't just kick your feet around like a maniac. Instead, focus on using your core to go from the hollow to arch position. And then eventually, as you get more comfortable with it, it requires less effort and you're able to move longer distances. So that's just a little lesson of like, what are the fundamental pieces of a kip swing? It's just a hollow and an arch that you move in and out of in rhythm and in sequence. And then from there, we can start adding a little bit more complexity to it. The one other thing that I want to mention before we move on to like a more comprehensive progression to wrap up the video is when we're doing a kip swing, and this one will be really good from a side angle, is when I'm doing a kip swing, it's also very important to stay balanced under the bar. So a lot of people might do the hollow and the arch properly, but it ends up looking like this, where they're hollow, arch, and they're swinging around wildly like Tarzan swinging from a vine. Okay, it's really important if you had a dotted line drawn down the center of this bar, like you can even use this as your line here. It's really important that you stay balanced on that. So when I'm in my hollow position, my shoulders are back, my feet are forward, and then when I'm in my arch position, it's the exact opposite, and it should stay balanced the entire time. So my center of mass actually stays directly under the bar. I'm not swinging wildly back and forth. Instead, with nice control, focusing on using my core and not my legs and arms, I'm in hollow and arch, hollow, arch. And here you can see I'm not swaying back and forth. In fact, at any given time, my center of gravity is directly underneath this bar, and I can control myself at any time. So that's a really important note when we're talking about the fundamentals of the kip, is that you need to make sure that with the hollow and arch, you're also staying balanced underneath the bar. Now I actually want to walk you through a 6-step progression. So these are 6 different drills that you can work on as a beginner and eventually get better and more effective and more comfortable actually kipping from a pull-up bar. So the first drill, obviously, like I mentioned, and like I've already showed you, is that hollow hold. So again, from the floor, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay here. I'm going to lay down flat, hands above my head. I'm going to tighten my core, and in doing so, lift my shoulders and my legs off the ground. So tight core, shoulders, legs off the ground. Now the only thing in contact with the ground is my lower back and like my lower, like the back of my hip bone, my sitting bones. So from here, I'm not trying to have any sharp angles. I'm trying to have a nice, smooth angle from tip of my fingers all the way down to my toes. Trying to keep everything nice and tight together and straight. This is a hollow hold. Whew, and it's hard. Then from here, I also want you to work on, like I mentioned earlier, that arch hold, or the Superman hold as some people call it. Same exact thing. I'm not bending crazily. All I'm doing is I'm tightening my lower back, which lifts my upper body, my chest off the ground. My glutes also help me lift my quads off the ground. And then from here, trying to keep that nice rounded position from fingertips to toes. So from there, the next level of the progression is rolling back and forth. So being able to manipulate yourself from the hollow to the arch position. Some people call these candlestick rolls. I think they just look silly, you're flopping on the ground, but they're really effective. So from here, hollow, and then snap to arch. And then from here, hollow, snap to arch. But practice those. That's a great way to teach your body how to manipulate yourself in and out of that hollow and arch position. And then the next step is to actually take this and move it over to the bar. I'm going to jump up and hang from the bar and just simply practice both positions. So you can practice your hollow hold. So the hollow hold from the bar, I'm actively pushing my hands in front of my body and then tightening my core to lift my feet slightly. So you can see I'm in a slightly hollowed position. I'm not just dead hanging from the bar, flopping around. I'm tight and controlled. So hollow holds are a great thing you can do. And then you can also do arch holds, which arch holds are the same thing. I'm actively pulling myself into that arch position. Then we can actually work on transitioning in and out of the hollow and arch. So just like on the floor with the rolls, I was rolling back and forth. Here on the bar, we can do the same thing using slow, controlled transitions from hollow to arch. So hollow, maybe hold it for a 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Arch, 1, 2,
3. Hollow, 1, 2, 3. Arch, 1, 2, 3. Okay?
Practicing those slow transitions from hollow to arch, eventually you can start shortening those pauses. So that was a 3-second pause on each end. Eventually you can loosen things up, let your shoulders relax a bit, and then actually start to do what I call beat swings. So a beat swing, all I'm doing is going in and out of the hollow and arch position. So I'm here, hollow, arch, hollow, arch. This is just a beat swing. It's a kip swing. It's just a small kip swing where I'm not trying to do anything too aggressive. I'm just trying to remember my positions. So arch, hollow, arch, hollow. That is a great drill, especially if you practice it and you can stay balanced under the bar and not feel like you're crazy swinging back and forth. Fantastic drill to learn the kip swing, because it is a kip swing, it's just a really small one. And then last but not least, one of the drills that we can add to this progression is actually starting to elevate our body with the kip. So you might call these kip swings, or here at WODprep a lot of times we'll call them like kipping elevates or elevated kip swings. All we're doing here is I'm doing that beat swing, except in the hollow position, I'm getting a little bit more aggressive. So rather than just being in a small hollow position, I'm actually engaging my lats a little bit. So I'm engaging right here to pull down on the bar, which lifts me up higher in the air. As you'll see, I'm gonna get a little bit higher and I'm gonna have a bigger kip. This translates, this is like the last building block for a lot of people for things like kipping pull-ups and toes to bar. And then eventually, if you get really good at them, you can move on to things like chest to bar pull-ups, bar muscle-ups, and so forth. So here's what it looks like. Again, we have that beat swing. So the beat swing, I'm just hollow, arch, hollow, arch. And then when we want to go to kipping elevates, all I'm doing is I'm starting to pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, okay? So all I was doing there is in that hollow position, I was just, boom, snapping down and activating my lats to give myself a little bit more elevation. 0, none, zilch, nada, nothing. I swear it looks like you're trying to migrate from the Pacific Ocean to like a stream that's like way up north because you're just flopping. You're a fish. So I hope that this progression is simple enough. It certainly doesn't involve much complicated equipment. All you need is a tall enough pull-up bar, and you can do all those drills and practice the hollow, arch, rolls, transitions, beat swings, and then finally those kipping elevates. Try those for yourself, and then let me know in the comments what is one thing that you want to improve. What's one piece of this progression that seems a little wonky for you, or maybe is more difficult for you? Leave a comment below and let me know. And also, if you have any other tips or tricks that helped you learn or get things to finally click when it came to kipping, whether it's kipping pull-ups, kipping chest to bar, kipping toes to bar, leave it in the comments below. I'll give you one quick tip for me. Like if I was gonna leave a comment, I would say, you know what? One of the biggest things that helped me learn how to finally kip was the arch position from the bar is a little bit difficult sometimes. So when I'm hollow, that's easy, but the arch, sometimes I just feel weird. And that's because I'm not pressing my head through my shoulders. So when you're practicing those beat swings, when you go into the arch position, I want you to actively drive your head through your arms. And when you do that, a lot of times that's when things finally start to click when it comes to that arch position. So drive through and through and through, because the bigger my arch and the stronger my arch, then the counteraction of that is going to be a really, really strong hollow body position. So there's a little tip for you. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know something that you learned from this video or something that you're working on. And like I promised earlier, I have a ton of free training for you. So if you look in the description or in the top comment, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, there's a top comment with some links in it. I have a free training guide, free ebook called How to Go From Scaled to RX, and I want to send that to your email completely free. Also, if you're interested in learning things like kipping toes to bar, kipping pull-ups, butterfly pull-ups, bar muscle-ups, pretty much everything, we have free training guides that I would love to send you. Basically, they're free little mini video courses that teach you step-by-step how to learn these kipping and other complex movements. So go click the link of the movement that you want to learn below, and then you can go get that completely free. Hope that you love this video, and I'll see you next week. Peace. Because you're just flopping. You're a fish. Are you a marine mammal? Is that what you are? Now that he's gone, I might as well, you know, see what it's like. No, it wasn't me. No. Only strict pull-ups all day.